Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Culture Review. It doesn't seem like my camera is working just yet, but I wanted to say hi. Welcome, everyone. Glad you were all here. We're just getting started. We've got two great co-hosts hanging out. A couple people are off for the day doing holiday stuff. I almost said Halloween stuff, but I meant holiday things. So that's going to happen from time to time. So let's go ahead and bring up the first guest we have, who's here all the time. It's AFK Bard. How's it going, AFK?
Hey, going good, thanks. Happy few days before Holiday Madness.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm already deeply steeped in holiday madness, but yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of people are steeped in it, to be honest with you. But
I haven't shopped yet, so yeah, there's that.
you may want to get started there pretty quick, or you could have some difficulties. Let's just put it that way. Of course, our other regular guest is Machiny90 of Machiny Draws. What's going on, Machiny?
Trying this out and trying to camera out in OBS. Let's see if this will work. But yes, I am steeped in holiday madness as well.
All right.
It's kind of getting into that end of the year. I can't believe it's at the end of the year.
Yeah. What's funny is Elon Musk actually tweeted out today that it's only 3 weeks until 2022. Can you believe that?
How would he do that?
It's pretty crazy.
I can't believe it. I absolutely can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit, kind of. I can't believe how quickly the year went, despite all of the many hurdles and everything else that we all were essentially subjected to.
Agreed.
So, but well, we've got a lot of folks joining us in the chat, so let's say hi to everybody real quick, and then we'll get underway. Today's show will probably be. We lost Mock. Okay, I think he lost his camera. He's back. All right.
Is it working? Okay, there we go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, for a moment he was gone and then he was back. But anyway, we've got lots of folks hanging out there. Today's show will be abbreviated. We're going to try to do everything in about an hour. There's other things. Again, most of us are trying to get into the holiday cycle, and many of us are quite behind, and that would include myself. So let's say hello to Rogue Disney. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. We've got Brightest Day out there in the chat. What's up, Zach? Cosmic Squirrel is here. What's up, Cosmic Squirrel? Good to see you as well. We also have Grumpy Old Ninja Kentaro. It is so great to see you, my friend. I'm glad you stopped by. Lord Thoth is hanging out with us, and one of our special guests has arrived. There he is. It's Tom from Midnight's Edge. Midnight's Edge After Dark.
You're still echoing, dude.
Again. Oh, no. There we go. That's from last night, isn't it? Yeah, we were singing, man, up until late hours of the night last night, doing some amazing karaoke. So that was really awesome. But anyway, yeah, Tom, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Let's see. As I said, Lord Thoth is here hanging out with us. We've got Judah Khan in the chat, and Ed Brewer is here as well. Our good friend Joker Voice is here. What's up, Joker Voice? Terry Rose is here. Mr. Dragon. Trina, Lasso of Truth, is here. And the ever lovely Tina Bojan. Tim's Talk is here. Guys, check out Tim. He does stuff everywhere. He's busy. Wookie, what's up, Wook? Good to see you, buddy, as is Snowdub. Keck44. And, of course, Captain Trek. What's up, Captain Trek? Court's with us. What's up, Court? Good to see you. Rob Altus. We've got a lot of folks who just rolled in here. Thanks for being here, everyone. Let's see. We've got Maestro Kai or Chai or Chi here. I depends on what part of the world you're in is how you pronounce that. Let's see. Who else has rolled in here? Keely Chow. Roll Tide, my friend. What about says ahoy. Islington Girl is here. The ever lovely Kaylee D is here as well. Thank you for all the promotion you do, Kaylee. We appreciate that. Max Relax is hanging out with us today. Gap Stargate. We have, my goodness, lots of folks. I love it. E. Clay Thomason is here. Good to see you. All right. Well, let's get started. Tom, since you didn't quite get here until just a few moments ago. We've had some strange wins and stuff recently and some odd losses for some entities. Any thoughts on things outside of the normal sphere, like anime or court cases or anything like that?
Yeah, there's this strange boil on my butt, and
Okay.
I've been trying to figure it out.
Um,
I don't know if there's any
all right.
doctors in the house or anything, but it kind of looks like, it looks like a mushroom grew on top of a toadstool.
Okay, well, that was more information than I needed, but let's dive right into the first story, my friends. Cowboy Bebop, Cowbop Bebop?
Cowflop.
Cowbop Bebop. What?
Cowflop, B-flop. Netflix cancellation could doom future anime adaptations at Netflix. Well, and probably other places. And you know what I say? Good. You guys have any thoughts on this story?
I could care less.
You still haven't seen the anime, have you, Tom?
No. And I mean, I don't. I mean, I guess saw something this morning. I don't know how accurate it is. Is that the reason for canceling is that just it was unpopular. It was like instantly hated. So
one of the reasons was we were talking backstage, and I can't articulate it well, but later on you'll see what I was trying to articulate in this article. It didn't feel right. I mean, aesthetically it was close, but it never felt right. And that's one of the biggest problems that you have with trying to adapt anime into the real world. It's very difficult to get the same look and feel and connotation and everything. Now, of course, not all.
I was saying this the other day. I mean, it's already its own genre in and of itself, its own version of storytelling. I mean, it's a moving form already. I mean, the animation part of it is kind of the whole point of it, and to the point where 9 times out of 10 they're trying to recreate that with CGI, and to me it's just like, so we're watching yet another animated version of the story. It's still animated.
Yeah, and it's very hard to do. And again, the aesthetic was close, and if they'd done this earlier when Cho was not quite as old, maybe it would have worked even better. But it was mocked internationally. The show was. I mean, if you hear tell, coming from other countries, I know Makani has some thoughts on this.
Yeah, most of the time when it comes to just kind of live action adaptations, they're very, very, very few and far between. Like, still think one of the best live action adaptations of any anime out there is still Battle Angel or Alita Battle Angel from 2019. With this, it's that, we've seen Netflix strike out with the live action film of Death Note.
Right.
They're also going to be covering Naruto and One Piece, two other big mainstream animes as well. The problem here is not that they always drop the ball. Well, in Cowboy Bebop's case is that it's not that you just drop the ball when it comes to doing this live action, because it was going to work live action, but you did it and at the same time disrespect everything that the original source material. I wouldn't say it's just like ignore source. No, it's an absolute disrespect to the original source material, to be honest with me.
Right. And not to interject, but real quickly, Ed Brewer says something I believe wholeheartedly. Cosplayers do it very well. They're able to convey the anime characters because they really strictly stick to what their aesthetic is, don't you think?
Absolutely. And a lot of it is just, it's not just the Fae thing. It's just a lot of elements that's like, I feel like it would have been better if you just came out and admit that there are a lot of elements of Cowboy Bebop that just will not work well in live action. It's just not going to transition well. And if you be a little bit more upfront about this instead of just making changes just for your own sensibilities, for your own narrative and such. And it's just comes off as disrespectful. Even when you have the original creator, there's a writer coming out and saying he really didn't have anything, he has nothing to do with this. And he doesn't know what's going to happen with this.
Right.
So yeah, it's
now Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, this is one of those weird things, but AFK has a slightly different take, and I would like everybody to hear because it's very thoughtful. AFK?
Oh boy. Well, I'm one of the weirdos that I guess enjoyed it. I haven't finished the series yet. I'm only like maybe 5 episodes in, but I have to preface that with like, I'm a huge anime and manga fan, and like I'm looking at it from like a fan created perspective where it like I love cosplays and stuff like that. And like, even that fake trailer they did years ago with like Nathan Drake played by Nathan Fillion, like
Right.
that kind of stuff. So like when I was watching it, I was like smiling, but it was more of like a wow, that looks so cool. That's so cool that they were able to recreate that in their own way. And I'm also like a fan of like the Harry Potter musicals.
Oh, yeah.
And so like I'm able to like distance myself from like fandoms with like an arm reach, and I'm like extending my disbelief, so to speak. So like
Right.
I'm watching it and I'm seeing it as a creation, but I can totally see how like translating, the nuances of a show that like I've never watched Cowboy Bebop, but I know it was very artistic.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like even the fighting styles, and like I could see them trying to recreate it with like the first like big fight scene in the first episode with Spike looking kind of cool while he's doing it. And I'm in my head, I'm like, that's one of the few things I remember watching from the anime that I think the anime stands out as being like the best. So it's like, so me, I enjoyed it, and I'm sad that it got canceled, but I'm not surprised because I heard everybody was just like so against it before I even tried watching it.
Yeah, and again, it was a shame. I mean, again, a lot of the anti-marketing kind of campaign and stuff like that didn't hurt it.
Right.
I mean, did hurt it, I should say, didn't help it. Joker Voice says something that I too have heard. Joker Voice says, I don't remember where I heard this from, but someone said this may be intentional, drive American viewers away from anime and manga because it's beating the pants off of American comics, and that's one.
That's
No.
some silliness.
No.
Yeah.
No, I heard that
I don't
also.
believe that. I don't believe
You
that.
don't?
No. They spent way too much money on that for this.
Exactly.
Or this for that, I mean, sorry.
And they had to put it on hold for a bit because of the injury.
Look, this failed. It was destined to fail. Cowboy Bebop is probably the most well-known, well-beloved anime there is.
Wow.
I mean, hands down, since the beginning of nerddom, Cowboy Bebop has been the one anime that everybody brought up first, right? Like, that's the one that people usually go to. So this was destined to fail. Unless you have somebody like Peter Jackson behind it who can actually show some kind of respect for the franchise no matter what you do. It looked like a very fancy fan trailer or whatever you want to call it.
Right, yeah, a fan film, fan art, fan whatever, yeah.
Fan film, yeah.
And that's actually, go ahead. I'm sorry, FK.
Oh, I just want to say, like, I feel like as far as like, trying to make it so that, the US or, people over here don't want to be into it. Like, I kind of am intrigued by that idea because they've been doing live action stuff in Japan for ages when it comes to like anime and manga adaptations. And I've watched it and I get a kick out of it, but it's very different. And I imagine that, like, I don't know, like why don't we just take that and like subtitle it and just put it on Netflix and stuff. I don't know. It's weird seeing Netflix try to do it and it fall on its face, but like things as cheesy as like the Bleach musicals exist.
Right.
And I get a kick out of those too,
Right.
And again, there's nothing wrong with any of that. I mean, again, I'm gonna try not to yuck people's yums. If it's something you get a kick out of them, it's just for me, trying to hold up a mirror to something as artistic and as amazing as Cowboy Bebop was as an animation. There's just something about animation, I think, it's fundamentally different when you try to adapt it to live action, which is why I think Disney's having such a rough time with so many.
And I mean, I look at it like, okay, let's say the Marvel universe is pop music, right? Well, clearly Cowboy Bebop or anime is more like jazz music, right? Like you can try and mix jazz music with pop music. Sometimes it'll work, but 9 times out of 10, it's still just jazz music mixed with pop music, right? Like you're never going to create something new out of it. So to me, it feels like no matter how many ways you try to play these chords, they're never just going to meld quite right because you got two different styles of music, right? So it's the same thing here. You got two different styles of storytelling. I just have yet to see a successful anime adaptation to live action. I guess Battle Angel Alita or whatever the hell it was called is probably the closest thing I can think of where people just weren't completely like either just disgusted by it or benign at best.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, look, I mean, it's like, well, we'll read some of this real quick, and it will hopefully further the story. But Netflix opened up a lot of wounds in pop culture fandom. Anime fans are fatigued at limp adaptations of Japanese anime by Hollywood producers because for decades, American creatives have demonstrated a woeful misunderstanding of the cultural themes that make these stories special. Ungainly attempts at an American remake of the 1988 sci-fi classic Akira, fundamentally being about Japan's 20th century existential crisis as evidenced by its depictions of civil unrest, rampant bozokozu gangs, and predominant nuclear imagery. Well, there you go. And again, this just goes on. The article goes on to describe how all of this is kind of a failure at these kinds of attempts at the medium. But the aesthetic is the thing I was talking about. When you look scene to scene at what they tried to do, it wasn't quite right. Right. Keelan Ramos, actually here quoted in the story on Twitter, from Twitter, I should say, says in the anime shot, the window, and that's these two shots right here. The window acts as a light source to highlight the real subject of the shot, which is Vicious and his sword, which stands out against a black background. The sword then leads your eyes to Spike. None of this is in the live action shot. Nothing serves any function. And that's true. I mean, if you look side by side to the things they actually tried to faithfully recreate, they did it very poorly. So, and we have a new face here. What's going on there, Gaze?
Well, it's not too much.
It's snowing all over his eyeball.
It is. He's got a lot of snow. Yeah. But
it happens.
Gaze, what are your thoughts on the cancellation of Bebop, since that's what we're talking about right now?
I can't say I'm surprised. It might be heresy to some people. I've never been a huge Bebop fan. Just watched it casually. But this just, I don't know. It seems like they're trying to Americanize a lot of stuff, and with some things that just doesn't take. I think that's kind of what happened here. And I mean, there were a lot of fan complaints as well about the costumes and everything else. And like I said, I'll leave that to the fans. But yeah, I don't know. Like, anime is kind of its own realm. It's special for a reason. And most times when you try to adapt something that's already great and special into another medium, it's not so great and special.
No, I think that goes back to my music analogy, and I think that really fits this tweet here that's on screen because, like he's saying, the shot, it's been completely compromised as to how it was originally supposed to be perceived. Mm-hmm. It's like saying, oh, well, we can just play a B chord. It don't matter. It's like, no, motherfucker, it matters because it's a B7 chord, not a B. Mm-hmm. Right? And there's a big difference, when it comes to the blues and rock and roll and certain things like that. Like, yeah, different keys, different, and here's the same thing. You're completely taking away the impact of the scene here. I've never even seen it, but I get completely what this person is saying.
Yeah. And again, I mean, it's just, it artistically, it's different. The presentation style is different. It doesn't look the same. And, again, I mean, a lot of people are pointing towards John Cho, especially those of our friends in the East who said that it's an old guy cosplaying as Spike. I mean, that's not the perspective. I mean, you didn't hear a lot of that perspective from the U.S. audience. You heard it from the audience overseas. And it's one of those things. And, I thought he did a pretty good job. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it is what it is.
Where that failed in a way, because like the whole capturing the human versus the manga / anime is like, John was like leaning too heavily on the sounding bored and tired or something like that. It sounded like, but he sounded like an old person versus how Spike in the anime was like he couldn't be bothered, but it wasn't that he was tired, or I don't know. It's so hard for me to describe, but it felt like he was playing it like an old man versus somebody who just, wasn't completely present.
Right.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and Daniel Hall nails it. Cowboy Bebop is what happens when the creator's removed from the project. Just wait for the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think it's going to tank hard as well.
Oh, that's going to hurt.
And the writer, didn't the writer, the female writer for this show, didn't she just pass away a couple days ago?
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I know it was for one of the famous animes. I believe it was her. But it's just really, really weird. I want there to be good things out there based on good stories. I find it harder and harder to see that, out there in the world. They just don't care anymore. They lack creativity, so they go and they try to reboot an old IP, but they add a bunch of crap into it that wasn't there originally, so it's not going to resonate with the audience anymore. Mm-hmm. The only, according to Cavatanio Cavalryman Che, the only successful adaptation of anime, manga, and video game has been fan crowd made. Yeah. And funded is Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. It was canonized in Street Fighter V5. There you go.
Right.
Hey, Jaffo. Nikki D for a super chat rolls in here and says, I'm more concerned with the Netflix issuing creative edicts to Japanese anime studios by injecting contemporary Western hyper-partisan politics that do not marry well with their culture. Wow, that's brilliantly said, and I agree with you 100%. In fact, I brought on somebody here that probably also agrees. Hello, Andre. How are you today, sir?
Greetings. I'm good, thank you. I have to say I'm very excited. Which article is this? Can you send me the link to it?
Sure thing. Yeah, this is from Inverse, so it's not exactly top tier. But
that doesn't mean that they don't have a good point. It certainly
true.
Sounded like it just when I came in here.
It is true. Yeah, and they do have some salient points, but they also have, and it's in the private chat, Andre.
Thank you.
But it's also, it starts to lean back into the very things that cause the problems that this thing ran up against.
There's a Screen Rant article out too right now, Andre. I think it's Screen Rant.
Yeah.
Basically saying the same thing. It's canceled because nobody wanted it.
Yeah. And again, I mean, you have an Asian audience that has roundly rejected it, and calling out Cho for essentially being a cosplayer, an old guy cosplaying as Spike Spiegel.
Right.
And that's not even my biggest problem with it, because I thought his aesthetic was exactly could have done this, and if this were done 10 years ago, maybe it would have been even better. But at the same time, that wasn't the only problem with the series. It comes back to its marketing and the very changes to the way the story was presented. In fact,
right.
Go ahead, Mom.
Yeah, in fact, if I'm correct, it was the same Screen Rant who posted an article, I think it was like last week, blaming the original anime for the changes to one of the characters' endings in the live action show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was the one that had they're like, oh, we're going to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's like the thing, that they consider it to be problematic,
right?
And then they're going to make it all the better and more safer, and in the process, of course, they ruin it completely. Now, I do like the headline of this thing right here, how this could spell the doom for future anime adaptations.
Yep.
This reminds me of something I heard in our own live stream this Friday. Then I actually put this question to Kamran Pasha, because one thing that I noticed about this cancellation is that it's so widely publicized. It's in all the trades. It's everywhere. Cowboy Bebop, a failure. Cowboy Bebop, cancelled. I put the question to Kamran Pasha, and he said, well, that's obviously because Hollywood views anime as a threat. They don't want any more of it. I mean, just look at what's happening in the comics. And now we see this article right here. Like, this could doom future adaptations. And everyone else in Hollywood is probably popping that champagne over that very notion.
Well, true, but so did he elaborate on the idea that possibly this was a show that was set up to fail?
You know what? I don't think so. I do not think that that Netflix would spend all that money. Like, this was a very expensive show. A lot of money went into this. I mean, I don't know the detailed budget. I do know that Carbon, like that Carbon series, I forget the name of it.
Altered Carbon?
Thank you. That the budget for that one was put like $7 million per episode. This certainly looks to have been in that vein. Now, I don't think that Netflix would do this thing deliberately to tank it. Not when you look at many of their other things, because if you look at all of the identity politics stuff like that's in this one compared to many others, if anything, it's more subtle than it could have been. Right. I mean, they're far more extreme about it. You'd think that if they really wanted to tank it, they would have been more overt about it. Right. I think that they genuinely tried to find something that's going to be their little thing in a period where they see increasing competition across the board. Remember, this thing was like greenlit in 2017. That would be just around the time when they knew that they were going to lose all their Marvel content because Disney were starting up Disney Plus. They knew that everyone else on the horizon are going to start their own streaming service. They need to stand out in order to stay relevant. I really think it was a genuine attempt at their part to make a hit here. They just hired the wrong people to do it, and they blew it.
Well, speaking of hiring the wrong people to do something, Andre, I'm going to show you something that you can react to.
Okay.
And you're not going to like it.
I look forward to this, or maybe I shouldn't. But okay, let's go for it.
I feel very bad for you, my friend. Here we are.
Okay. Oh, right.
They made Andre into Conan.
Yeah, that was, that was like my. I've actually seen this before, and my very first thought was that, hey, someone is trying to draw me as Conan.
I actually want this cartoon, and it's Andre the Barbarian. You all are really dead inside.
Yeah, that would be
outside.
Fun, though. But actually, I'm very sorry to disappoint. I know exactly what this is. That's what it does. Okay. Yeah, I can tell you.
Sure.
This is not the A cover. This is an alternate cover for Marvel's upcoming 6-issue miniseries, King Conan. And this then is an alternate cover by Stan Sakai. And don't diss him too much. I mean, he's not only has he done terrific work with Sergio Aragones, he's done really good work on that Samurai Bunny. I forget the name of it. But
Yosagi Yojimbo?
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that's him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's him. So this is just a fun little side cover. Yeah. This is just a fun little side cover. Give me a moment, and I'll find the real deal for you, and even something else to compare with. So,
hey, you thank the Ninja Turtles for that, or I would have no fucking clue who that guy was.
Yeah, exactly. So no, that's him. I don't mind this. I think it's like a fun tribute. I mean, considering that I was able to get through Gru versus Conan, then. This
well, that was my first thing. Was it looks like Hagar the Horrible, but it does look a little bit like Andre. So I'm like, now I want an Andre the Barbarian cartoon.
I wouldn't mind that at all. Give me one moment here. I'll send you guys some links in the private chat. I'm just gonna find it here. Oh yeah, here we go. One moment, and I shall supply you with the link.
Max says he wants to see you animated explaining all your moves to the enemy in a fight.
That would be so great.
I wouldn't find that at all. Okay, here in the private chat I put a link to the A cover. This is the one that's actually going to be on the book.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to show it to everybody. Oops, maybe I'm not. I don't know why it won't let me. Oh, I pulled the wrong thing over. What? Okay, sorry, my bad. We'll try again. This is a professional show, everyone. I promise.
I had it up. Did you want it?
I'm gonna have to grab the right screen.
An all-inclusive panel with boomers included.
We're fine.
Didn't understand anything. That was all muffled.
That's not it.
Let me know if it's not working, and I'll find you another link.
No, it's fine. I just have to find where it came from and why it's not there. I think it's just not it. It does not want me to share this link. That's very strange.
That's very weird, but I'll find you another one then. No problem.
There we go. Okay, all right. This is it. This is beautiful.
Yeah, see there. That's the A cover. That is indicative of the series we will be getting.
Excellent.
And this guy who did this cover, he's also the artist, Mahmoud Asrud, something like that. I believe he's from somewhere in the former Republic of Yugoslavia.
Oh wow!
I don't know the detailed, but many great artists have come from there.
Wow.
So yeah, no worries about that alternate cover.
Okay.
I'll find you another fun example of, because there was like another cool one. Here we go. I found another brilliant one, because you may be familiar with the Savage Avengers. This is like the contemporary Marvel team where Conan has joined the Avengers, an Avengers consisting of Wolverine, the Punisher, and Venom. It may sound stupid, and it is, but it's really hilarious and a fun read. The comics for it are excellent, but they did a similar cover to the one that you showed, which just looks ridiculous. I put this in the private chat here too.
Okay. All right, let me. This is fun. Andre's bringing it today. Love it. All right, we're gonna.
Yeah, well, that concept does sound stupid yet fun.
But that's exactly like, it's hilarious. I actually recommend the Savage Avengers because it's so fun. It's a really fun read, and the beauty is that it's not like the mainline Marvel thing. There you go. This is similar to the initial cover that you got, right? This is one that just like highlights the irony of it all.
But okay, so what's the target audience for this particular cover or this particular comic?
I cannot say for this particular cover. I mean, this is like a retailer exclusive.
Savage babies.
Like how do you have like this scam going that all the retailers are complicit in? That this is like one cover that you would get if you, for instance, order 50 copies.
Oh wow!
Right, then you get like one limited, and so was the cover that you got, that you showed here to begin with, from Stan Sakai. That would have been like a similar thing if you ordered 25 books or 50 books or whatever of the standard cover, the real good one. You would get one of the one that you were all horrified by, the one that looked like Hagar the Horrible.
Right.
So yeah, no worries. It's just like a retailer exclusive. As for what the real covers looks like, give me one moment and I shall find like a good one that's more indicative of what it would be.
They look like Man of War. Man, like I said, I don't mind alternate covers, but they have seemed to become more of a scam, more of a financial.
Oh, they are a total scam.
Yeah.
Total scam.
Right.
I mean, obviously, Red Gaze, who works in comics, will say that, right? Or,
yeah. Well, here's the thing. I do have one alternate cover, but that's because I really wanted Vinny on the project.
Oh, there you go.
That's true.
There's a reason for that.
There's a reason.
Yeah, look at that. That's beautiful, right?
That is beautiful.
Yeah. See there, that's more indicative of what's actually in the pages of that comic. And again, Savage Avengers, it's stupid, but it's really, really fun.
Look at the Punisher there, just like...
He thinks the Punisher's a wuss because he uses guns.
Yeah, no, really. He does, and I have a picture of that. I'll send you that too, because that's actually hilarious. I'm just going to find a big version of it.
Yeah.
Man. All right.
See, and this kind of stuff can work if you have a story behind it that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they actually do. That's the beauty of it.
Well, this can also be a win, right? These
Punisher's like, so I came in, guns a-blazing.
That's right. Are they going to hire Alec Baldwin for that role?
Danny DeVito.
All right.
You know what's sad is like 10, 15 years ago, Alec Baldwin wouldn't have looked that bad as the Punisher, but
no,
I just don't think he could have pulled it off.
No.
He would have needed to hit the gym a bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, like when he kind of did get a little bit bigger, but then he got bigger in the gut.
Yeah,
And he got bigger in the mouth.
Okay, check
And
the
that too.
private. Here is an
Is
alternate
it just
version
weird
of
that his
that
head
cover.
get bigger too? Like,
This is the one you want.
Oh, this one is weird looking. All right, let's dig this one.
one's
I'm
not so
grabbing
bad.
it right now.
Yeah.
Bam. There you go, guys. Check that out.
It's after this scene that Conan determines that he doesn't like machine guns. They're a weapon for girls.
They're a weapon for girly man.
Yeah, that's literally what he says, or more or less. Like, real man uses a sword.
This is just so you don't get blood on you. It's so lame.
Well, you will at that range.
That's right. Yeah, it's just kind of going to splatter all over the place.
So yeah, but this is actually a really, really cool comic, especially like the one where he gets locked up in a prison cell with Deadpool, and after having asserted that he has that Deadpool has a healing power like Wolverine, he decides that the best way to get out of the cell is to break every single bone in Deadpool's body and beat him to a pulp to the point where he can actually push him through the bars so he can heal up on the other side and let him out.
That's a solid plan.
So I highly recommend the Savage Avengers. It's actually really fun.
Nice.
Wow, I'm gonna have to go to this. I gotta go. I'm going to the shop tomorrow. I'm buying these books. This is great. Thank you, Andre, for that. I have one more thing I'd love to get your reaction on. And,
yeah, sure, go for it. I have to be off for any moment, but
I know this, and this wasn't part of the original. This wasn't a part of the original rundown, so but we'll take a look at it real quickly. Anyway, it wasn't the world's best news when this got like out there into the wild. Here it is. Tom, you want to pick this one up?
James Bond might be non-binary in the future, producer says.
I can translate that. James Bond may be dead as a franchise in the future, producer says.
Pretty much.
All right, go for it, Tom.
We decided that we earned a little bit too much money on that whole James Bond thing, and we don't like money. We like the message. So we decided that we're just going to cash in at this point and be done with it once and for all.
Yeah.
It's time for the franchise to die.
James Bond's future sounds like it might head down the path fans won't like, like it hasn't already. According to the Daily Mail, producer Barbara Broccoli appeared on Girls on Film podcast to talk about what's ahead for the legendary spy, and her comments are bound to have fans talking.
Yeah, oh my god, what a place to talk. Girls on Film. Yeah, brilliant. That's good. But anyway, you heard my reaction to it. I'm like, fine, whatever. We have the classics. Even of the Craig movies, we have at least one or two good ones. And the more I think about it, the final one, No Time to Die, certainly wasn't one of those. Even if it was Time to Die. Even if it was filmed partially in my country. That doesn't help. Doesn't make it a better movie.
I think that was a sign that it was time for the franchise to die.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for being here, Andre. We appreciate you hopping in, man. Thank you very
much, Andre.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure to pop in whenever I have the opportunity.
All right. Well, I'll continue to read here. I do, because I don't think that we should be making films where women are playing men, Broccoli explained when talking about whether or not a character will always be male. However, she left the door wide open for a character to change pronouns. When asked if Bond might be non-binary in the future, Broccoli responded with, "Who knows? I mean, I think it's open. We just have to find the right actor." She also added, Bond could use the they pronoun. For those of you who don't know, non-binary means Bond's gender would be fluid, and he would fall under the LGBTQ umbrella. Oh my God, this pronoun thing, Look, if I'm going to talk to you,
should you really take anyone
I'm going
named
to call
Broccoli
you
seriously?
your name. I respect people's pronouns as a personal person, but you're not going to refer to someone as a he, him, they, their, she, them, unless they're not in the room anyway. Like, unless you're in a group of people, I don't see where it matters. This is getting ridiculous. And I mean, okay, now, didn't James Bond sleep with both men and women in the books to begin with? I remember that being a thing. Like one of the earlier books.
Oh man, the 70. I'm trying to remember what the name.
Yeah, it was one of the books.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's not like there isn't precedence for this, but why is it a big deal? Like, I just don't get it. They really, really, really just don't care about the fans, do they?
No, I don't think so. What's up,
Not
Paul?
really.
Yeah, it's a
big deal because it's buzzwords.
Yeah, it is. It is. No, that's right. You're right, Gaze. That's true. But Sebastian Simonson says the boss is gone. Let's go wild again. Well, I have to be on my best behavior when the boss is around. So I get that. So, but let's see if we can finish this. There's not much to it. So,
has Broccoli lost her damn mind? Is the world going insane? There's no reason for us to even be having this conversation, but we are. Fans don't want to see non-binary James Bond. Literally, nobody is asking for this nonsense.
That's true.
James Bond is grade A badass who goes undercover to take the most vicious villains on the planet. How the hell is he supposed to do that if he's not? Well, I don't think that really matters. That whoever wrote this, that's kind of
weird.
Yeah. That doesn't mean shit. But like, my point is, why does it matter in general? Like, that's the thing. I mean, can't they just create a new character?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. This is the problem, though. We've been saying create new characters, and they're like, we can't because they fail, and so we're going to use your characters and destroy those, and then nobody will have anything because it's all about destruction.
I mean, I'm not saying there isn't a place for a non-binary spy.
No, there could definitely be one. In fact, there might be some distinct advantages to that, right?
Right.
I mean,
well, especially if you're in certain places, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, just cast Idris Elba, Richard Madden, or somebody else who is great and stop the dumb antics. I think everybody really wants Henry Cavill. Let's be real. We want to be entertained. So we don't want 007 to be social experiment. Yeah, because Henry Cavill kind of encapsulates everything. The classic Bond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, masculinity. He's frustratingly handsome. He's capable. I mean, sorry.
I don't want any destruction to be a social experiment.
Yeah. He means the destruction wants to know what's going on. The destruction of all that we hold dear is what's going on.
Yeah.
I think we lost Bond anyway. I think it was fitting that he died at the end of the last one. Oh, spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Spoilers there, guys, if you hadn't heard from about months ago. No.
Clearly, it is time to die.
Apparently so.
Yeah, no more 00. That's binary. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Just call him 7. You get $1 for that one.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
What's up, Jordy? Oh my gosh. Yeah, guys, every once in a while there's going to be bots rolling into these chats now that are going to put up this weird thing. It's code. They want you to entice you to go to the website to ruin your stuff. Don't do it. We will have the mods remove them as they pop in here. So
had one pop up on my stream last night, and I was able to get rid of them.
You know what's really funny though? West Side Story flopped harder than that Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
shit.
Dude, I can't even believe it. Go ahead, Mark.
Wasn't there a similar film that came out earlier this year?
In the
Heights. Talking about being
in the Heights.
In the Heights. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of In the Heights.
And I think In the Heights actually opened better while being on both HBO Max, didn't it? Or what did it do? I think maybe that did close.
Oh, it did. Yeah, it had a simultaneous. It was HBO Max plus cinematic, but it also, I mean, it may actually have make more money in its opening than West Side Story, a cinematic classic. Insane. Hey, what's up, Mohammed Saeed? Good to see you.
I wonder if this is the lowest opening for a Steven Spielberg film. In the Heights beat it by $1 million.
It did actually, and here's the thing. Okay, so I have the strong feeling, and it was funny because I popped over to Odin's movie blog, OMB reviews, right, into his live stream last night, just to listen to everybody and throw some super chats. And Odin's awesome. He does the same kind of look at the industry that a lot of us have been trying to do, myself, VR, others, and when you look at what he was saying, he's like, he was in that. He was one of the first people to find that article in Deadline, and he had that up talking about it yesterday. And I'm thinking,
ooh, and In the Heights had almost half the budget. The West Side Story did.
I'm telling you right now, you start futzing with the actual something that people love cinematically. Again, it's a cinematic classic. You're messing with perfection. Okay, and this
Why
thing,
would you
like,
spend $100 million on a musical?
Why? Okay,
Why?
first of all, how do you spend $100 million on it?
Oh, I can
And
see how. It's a big cast. It's
but
Steven
why do you?
Spielberg.
Okay, but why do you change? And I'm going to bring this up. Why do you change?
Concerning $10 million. That's more than concerning, man.
You know, 10.5 million. And again, I thought, and when I did my show, I think Friday, right? I was like, I think this will make about 11 million, 11 to 12, maybe 13 at most on its opening weekend. I was too high.
I was giving the benefit of the doubt that it was going to do about 20.
Well, they're pushing.
I never said that. But.
And they were pushing to get this. They were pushing to get this thing the global treatment instead of the domestic treatment, because they knew that this thing was a rock. Man, this thing is a giant stone that's sinking. And it's
done.
I mean, when it opened at that $800,000 thing on its preview night, and I was like, no bueno. No bueno. Yeah. This makes Howard the Duck look like a theatrical hit. I agree with that. It was the catering, says Hamdinger. You know what? Maybe so.
Well, Ghostbusters actually managed to muster up another $7 million.
Yeah, Jordy, you're right. Jordy Lyons is here and says the brilliant thing. This is an Oscar baiter. That's all it is.
Didn't do too well.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Ruben Christopher Haynes also sent a member chat that I forgot to read because our friend Andre rolled in here. Let me read this real quick. Ruben Christopher Haynes says, feel so blessed. I feel better knowing that I have you all in my life. Just learning so much from all of you. I want to make a comic now myself. Hail. Oh, dude, that would be great. I welcome as many people.
Does anybody notice this?
Possibly can.
That looks like the color purple is getting remade.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that was on the board not that long ago.
They're gonna call it Violet.
Oh,
I don't know. It's up for Christmas of 2023, and Spielberg's listed as a producer.
Yeah, it's coming from Amblin. Yeah, I don't know how you remake that.
How about the color Stop It?
Thank you, Gaze.
That's a good color, though.
Outside of Big Fucking Giant or whatever the hell that movie is called, I think this is probably his worst opening ever. I don't know. Probably by inflation, I would imagine. Yeah. Yes, I'm willing to make that bet.
Yeah, West Side Bory says that 70s rock fan. Yeah, Spielberg's. Thank you, Yvonne Solomon. This is correct. This is his pure ego. Spielberg's West Side Story is pure ego. That's true.
Well, and he's not like. Let's look at where Spielberg's at in the last few years of his life here. He's made a couple movies that have gotten some critical and Oscar acclaim, yes. But when was the last time Spielberg made a movie that was a bona fide hit? I mean, could you even consider Ready Player One a hit?
Not really.
No.
Because I mean, that's the thing is outside of
that didn't do great at all.
No, I'm looking at his list here and I'm trying to. I mean, yeah, he's listed as producer on a lot of shit, but I mean, Ready Player One did do 400 and some million overall, but it didn't make that much in the domestic. Like, Lincoln was like one of the last movies he
made that actually was, yeah, and it was actually
anything,
it did something, yeah.
Warhorse did okay, but
yeah, our friend and new creator to our fellowship here is the Hollywood Scholar. I subscribed to the Hollywood Scholar last night for $2. As Hail Culture Casino, great panel today. Oh, I've been very blessed with amazing voices. Thank you all for being here. Especially Andre's special.
Yeah, and before Lincoln, his big movie before Lincoln would have been War of the Worlds. Like, he's been very sporadic here with like his actual hits.
He's been taking a lot of trips to islands, you know.
So here they're trying to play defense for this. Okay. So let's do this. While an opening around 10 million wouldn't spell out and out doom for West Side Story, it would not feel like its first step.
Are you fucking kidding me? It's never making its money back.
Well, they're like a respectable box office performance over the next few weeks is certainly within the realm of possibility for this musical.
In what world?
Yeah, I don't know.
Spider-Man's coming out next week. This thing is done. It's over, kids.
Well, here's the thing. This is In the Heights, a not very well-known Lin-Manuel Miranda musical outside of obviously theater buffs. 11.5 million, as you mentioned before, right? I never freaking heard of this. Dear Evan Hansen made 7.4 million, and you have one of the most recognized musicals in history, not quite rocking 11
the
million.
Better
bucks.
Comparison there is Mary Poppins Returns. That's probably the closest.
Oh yeah,
as far as well-known IP in that business.
Yeah,
and that only did 172 million.
Yeah,
domestic run. This movie ain't making nowhere near. I bet you it finishes its run if it's lucky, if it makes 70 million dollars. If it does, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, and Pete Den Cat says the following: I'm trying to get my head around why Spielberg would want to remake a classic.
He's been doing a lot of stupid shit the past 20 years. Like, I think it started with War of the Worlds. I'll be honest with you. Like, I was never a big fan of that film, but he went against his own, what do you call it?
Sensibilities?
Well, he said he would never make a movie where the aliens are a bad guy ever again.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He made War of the Worlds.
Yep.
And to me, that was where his career just started on that downward trend.
Well, he's compromised a lot of his principles along the way.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, E. Clay Thomas says it's those damn millennials and their phones. Yeah, I don't think that's quite it. But you can't remake West Side Story. Natalie Wood is dead. Absolutely, Ed Brewer, you were 100% on point. Really, truly.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like, everything he's made after War of the Worlds has been shit. I didn't even like Lincoln. I thought it was boring as piss.
Yeah, well, I wasn't a fan either. Now, Lincoln Vampire Hunter was...
That's a totally better movie.
Much better.
It was.
It's probably more historically accurate.
Memes of destruction. Memes of destruction. I don't know. What term would you use for
Oscar Bader?
I'm sorry. I thought that was, medium funny. But hey, what's up, Guy Vermectin? The Colored Rainbow. Who's backing all these productions? I can't really say on this channel.
This movie got made because diversity.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
and I hate to say it, but I shouldn't bitch because we keep pointing out that the Hispanic, aka Latino, whatever kind of crowd, what moniker you want to put on top of that, is extremely overlooked in entertainment. They are the second largest group as far as entertainment is concerned, as far as consumption, but they are the most underserved and underrepresented.
Yeah, they overrepresent the market. And how long has that been going on? We talked about
forever.
This. Yeah,
forever. Like, there's the debate, and speaking of the devil, Mexican Iron Man's in the chat. He knows what I'm talking about because
hey, Mike,
when we had Taylor Hackford on, he pointed out that La Bamba to this day is still the highest grossing Latino-led film, where it was written, directed, a story about all that business, unless you count Dora the Explorer, which there's a debate for, I said. But outside of that, he's not wrong. Because even movies like Selena didn't even do that as well as La Bamba.
Yeah, and Terry Rose makes a great point. It's just like the stock market right now. The market is falling. Retail investors are really paying attention to what's going on. And then you have entities that dump more money in the market to artificially inflate or hold it up, which is insanity to me. But it is what it is. You know what, AFK, what would you think about Star Wars the musical?
Wow, that is a heavy loaded question. If it's done by Disney, it'll suck. So
nobody can understand the Wookiee's lines, like everything he sings.
I mean, honestly, the closest we'll ever get is the holiday special. So
there you go.
That's a great point. I don't think we should ever attempt that.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith went downhill after Clerks.
I don't know about that.
Hey, Nerium, good to see you, Kate.
I'd say Yoga Hosers was the change.
Yeah.
As much as I didn't hate Yoga Hosers, I liked it all right. I was just like, yeah, it's not a movie for his typical audience.
Yeah.
But after that, he's just not the same.
Yeah, a hologram nunchuck, now known as Hologram, says a 10 million opening on a $100 million budget. Definitely a bomb.
Oh, yeah. This is the kind of opening where if you get this kind of opening for any kind of movie outside of a comedy, you're done. This is it. Unless your movie was $30 million, you're done. There's no way you're going to make your money back.
Oh wow. So the animated
Even
film,
if it goes up, what, 300% for the Christmas weekend, which is never going to happen?
no, it's too much out there.
Too much.
Yeah, man, I can't even imagine. But here's the thing. I mean, Disney's animated film Encanto is obviously giving it strong competition, so they're competing with themselves. The animated project Adventure is projected to earn $9.58 million over the weekend, and a remarkably 27%.
Yeah, look at this. Okay, no, so now they're oversaturating the market.
Yeah,
with representation here, because you got Encanto battling West Side Story.
Oh,
yeah.
And the only one who's winning here is Ghostbusters. So what's the fuck? Because Sony's just kicking back and going, "Yep, we just made another $7 million."
Keep at it. We got something for y'all.
And it's going to be right through Sunday. It should be sitting at over 111 million. Domestically,
and it still has, I think, one or two more markets yet to open.
It has two more major markets to go into internationally. Yeah, you're right. And I'm like, okay, I feel good about this, but this is bananas, man. It's bananas.
I really wish Sony would have not snafu'd the release of Venom and Ghostbusters. They could have totally made some.
Oh, they would have dominated all of December if they'd have done it exactly right. Or man, it's insane.
Yeah.
Sticking around in fifth is Marvel's Eternals, which is going to make maybe
that thing's still hanging around.
Dude,
still hanging on. It's hanging.
It is the Eternals.
It's like Marty McFly. Don't call me chicken. Come on, man. I still got this. We got this. Come on.
And it still only managed. It still ain't even broke 200.
Oh man, I can't even believe this stuff.
I think we need to grab that clip of that chick screaming "Leave Britney alone" and just replace Britney with every remake they do from now on.
Oh.
But here's the interesting thing I did not know. Southern Belle says West Side Story had cast issues during production. The main guy was heavily disliked for his behavior.
Oh, is that
really?
Anson Elgort kid or whatever, the one from Baby Driver?
Wow.
Oh,
Crazy.
really?
Yeah, he was getting Me Too'd in the process of all that. I remember that now. Guys, you got to remember, this movie was shot like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
I think this was
ago.
even done before Disney even bought Fox.
It was 20th Century Fox done. Here's the reels. Glinzer says the Jaws remake is going to have 3 women on the boat.
Oh, I want
I
to
think
see
it's the
3 women
perfect
on
time
a
for a
boat.
Mamma Mia reboot.
Yeah.
Mamma Mia.
You know what? I just realized this is one of the first films that no wonder Spielberg spent $100 million. This is one of the first movies he's made forever that wasn't under Universal.
Well, you mean as far as distribution goes?
Yeah, because usually he works with DreamWorks or Universal because that's where his home is.
Yeah.
I think this is the first Fox movie he's ever done.
Maybe. Hard to say. I can't remember the last time he worked with Fox, but
I don't think he ever has now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. But Peter Den Cat says, my rule of thumb for gauging how well a movie will do is my 12-year-old son. And Spidey is the only film he wants to go see. So ergo, Spidey's going to make all the money. Prob's a total disappointment. Yeah. Yeah. What's the movie they'll destroy next? Grease, says Subhuman 84.
Oh, they've been talking about that for a while. No, I'm looking here and I'm not even seeing any movies that he produced. To be honest,
They can update it and call it Gel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gel.
Pomade. No, it should be Pomade. Let's be clear. That sounds even worse. I loved Born in East LA, says Bugs Meany. So did I. One of my favorites.
Oh yeah. Minority Report was through was co-financed by Fox maybe, but it was still through DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Because then they sold DreamWorks to Universal, and then that got sold to Paramount.
Hey, Sean Stackhouse is here. What's up, Sean? Good to see you, bud.
Or no, Universal still has that, but then some of the shit got sold to Paramount. Paramount used to distribute.
Vic Rattlehead says this is a strong take here. Tron and Black Hole are the 2 best Disney films. It's a strong take.
If you mean non-animated films, I guess I could.
Yeah,
maybe.
Black Hole was so awesome, and
I don't know. Who Framed Roger Rabbit's pretty goddamn good.
Black
Even
Hole
though it's Touchstone, but
yeah, Black Hole is just so underappreciated. Love that. Glinzer says West Side Encanto. Well, there you go.
I don't know why they released these two movies at the same time.
Not good. Wait, Coors Light did that to their Coors regular brand. They cut out the CL advertising. Really? Didn't know that. Eternals lost money. It
Big
still
time.
is. Yeah, Eternals are awful. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This is from Mikey. Super chat. What's up, buddy? Thanks for the $10. Appreciate it.
Mexican Iron Man.
Keeping the lights burning and getting my equipment put together and stacking the bank account for some land so we can build some studio production facilities. But thank you for that. It says, hail, great panel. Hail, amazing peeps in the chat stream. Culture, my lack of a wrench proves that this channel does not support diversity, nor equity. Hey, did Mom find the West Side tapes?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask again. I promise.
Where's the tape?
I promise. We're
not going to let Paulie forget either.
You know what? Here's the problem with Paulie, right? Going back 5 months ago, Mike, Paulie, who's probably in the chat, he's lurking. He promised that he was going to watch Picard with me, beginning to end. Still hasn't happened.
Why would you ever do that to yourself?
Because I said I would, because I wanted to support my friend Paulie, who was going to be subjected to it. And there's that. Yeah, and you have a wrench now, Mike. So stop whining. Let's see. The shark's going to be non-binary in the Jaws remake. Okay.
Oof. You see that? Culture is pro-diversity.
Well,
There you go.
Oh, something. I'm pro. Take care of my friends is what I'm.
He's at least pro-Mexican Iron Man.
I am. Yeah. Casablanca will never be remade. Boy, I hope you're right, Terry.
Never say
Didn't
never
they already
when it
kind of
comes to
try
Hollywood.
that already? Wasn't there kind of like a quasi remake of that already?
They could never properly remake it. First of all, you can't. Some things are lightning in a bottle, right? You can't do as I pull my earphones out. You can't redo them. It's impossible. You cannot do them again ever.
But you don't think that they can have an all-female Jaws cast remake?
Culture,
it could be a comedy.
Culture, I would pair it that it's not just that with Casablanca, it's a twofold. Is that one, some things are lightning in a bottle, can't be remade again, and two, there are some films that cannot be made in this time.
There's that. And as far as the all-female Jaws thing, you know damn well Melissa McCarthy is going to be in it, and she's going to say, that's going to leave a mark like 20 fucking times. Every time somebody gets bit.
Yeah. There's kind of a prequel or sequel to Casablanca.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Oh, man. And look, okay, so if you ever go to any form of film school, right? You get the classics, right? And that's one of the ones out there that they'll have you watch, Citizen Kane. They'll have you watch the silent film area. Again, if you're in a film school, right, at any level, at any type, anything you're going for, whatever, and they aren't showing you the classics, they're not showing you the silent movie era, they're not showing you these big important things, they're not showing you Ben-Hur, there's not conversations about the themes and all the elements. You are not in film school, you are in an indoctrination program, because you have to be exposed to all of that proper storytelling. No,
Rugo, the great, you're missing the whole point. The great white shark is the whole point. It's a white man instead of a shark, and he's eating all the minorities. And so then they all have to get together in a big group with their keyboards and kill the shark.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. Well, that being said, I wouldn't mind a Citizen Kane remake. I wouldn't mind a Citizen Kane remake with Culture and Tom. I'm Charles Foster Casino.
Oh, no.
That's just the problem, Culture. You want love on your own terms.
Oh my gosh, stop it. No, Fred Blog says we're going to need a bigger boat for the tampon machine. That's right.
We're going to need a bigger boat for Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of extra weight.
Gone with the Wind seems to be remake resistant. It is, because there's some themes in there they don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to say, the only reason I think they haven't attempted that is more so for the whole Yeah, like just the problematic aspect of it
can't.
than anything.
You can't.
I don't know nothing about birthing no babies.
There you go.
I was gonna say who would be willing to step up to the plate and play Robin Williams' role though? That's the thing.
No, I don't know. Thank you again, Mike, for the $10 super chat. He says, I talked to Polly and we are green light for a taping the week before and after New Year's. Polly and Culture, Discovery, Picard, Watch, an epic web.
Don't worry about Picard. Discovery, just Picard.
Well, we're just going to do
George.
Only agreed.
George!
For that. Hey, George. What's up, George? Good to see you, buddy.
You got a button for that.
I do. I forgot about it. Here it is. There it is.
George. He's got a beautiful soul patch.
And hey, George has become a member again. Wait a minute. You were already a member, George.
Did he just renew?
Oh, it must have been a renewal.
Yeah, renewal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you guys are amazing. Thank you for getting those bots, guys. I appreciate it. That Margaret Casey person. Rosebud.
What is Rosebud? Some girl he knew in college?
It's the wagon. Alex.
No, it was not the wagon. It was his sled.
Oh, the sled. I'm sorry.
In real life, though, do you know what Rosebud was?
I really don't think I want to hear this.
It was Marion's but JJ.
That's what I thought. Gone with the Wind had several continuations about Scarlet. I'd heard about that. Let's see. But anyway, thanks, George, for being a member again. I appreciate it, my man. I can't wait to get George in here on a panel. I need to add him to that group. It would be great to have him. Man, my brain is melted today. Robin Williams, the Fresh Prince could redo all of them.
Oh God.
Oh no.
No,
make us stop.
No.
Wow.
He's not
I
so
can't
fresh
see him
anymore.
in Good Will Smith hunting.
Oh, I have to send you that link.
It's perfect.
All right. I will. Hang on a minute. We're going to see George could be available. This is
a story all about how I met this loony kid from uptown who liked to do math on the walls at school.
Yay.
I taught him how to be real cool.
How is oh wait, I one of the problems I have, GE.
Did you say Riri, Tom?
Real cool, but Riri works too.
Real cool.
Mrs. Doubtfresh. Didn't they kind of already do that with Martin Lawrence? I mean,
yeah, it was Big Mama. Maybe that's what they could remake. Big Mama's House.
Oh Lord.
Trilogy.
Yeah, man, you guys, this is great. Well, we have other things we could talk about, but I thought that was really interesting.
Rap Poet Society.
What? Oh, come on! I need it. Where is it?
Today we're going to talk about Dylan Thomas and the Dr. Dre.
Willie, what's up, Willie?
Don't forget about Dre.
Fresh Prince Poet Society. There it is. Okay, it takes a while for it to translate to this side, guys. Sorry about that. That's great. Mrs. Doubtfish.
I don't know where that's going.
Wow.
Is that the Jaws Mrs. Doubtfire remake?
Mrs. Doubtfish. There you go.
So that doesn't have anything to do with Rosebud?
Yeah.
Who
And
knew me Poppins?
by the way,
need to big a boat.
ask and ye shall receive.
Hey,
George!
how are you doing, my friends?
What up?
He's got a beautiful soul.
There we go.
Album.
I drove like a bat out of hell. I told you I'd make it today.
You did. I was just worried, and I never want to put any pressure on you, but you are absolutely always welcome. I will make sure to add you to the group. So
thank you. Hello, everybody. Hello, Tom.
Hey.
How you doing, brother? Everything okay? I was just listening to what y'all were talking about.
Doing all right.
Yes. Did Culture know that Rosebud was? Rosebud. You know what Rosebud actually was?
I confused the wagon with the sled. Yeah, I know.
It's his vagina. Yeah. Oh, you told him.
It's not.
Culture knows a lot of things he doesn't want to admit.
The thing about Citizen Kane is the making of the movie is just as interesting as the movie itself.
Oh God, yeah. Orson Welles, what he went through for that, how much crap he had.
If they ever tried to remake Citizen Kane, that motherfucker would resurrect himself from the dead.
Yes, I agree completely.
That's why I think Cole would be the perfect role for that.
So would the remake actually be
just as long as bloody Steven Spielberg doesn't touch it? Jesus, after what he's butchered with. Did you see what he did with West Side Story?
We were just talking about that.
I didn't hear that part. Sorry.
Oh, wow. I just closed the story, but yeah, it's going to knock up about 10 million total on its opening weekend. 10 and a half, maybe.
You think that high?
Well, that's what they're predicting. They might be predicting. I could totally tank. It literally could totally tank today and make less than, the Evan Hansen thing that nobody cares about.
I agree.
What George is saying, that's 10 million is too generous.
Actually, In the Heights made $1 million more, we found out.
Yeah.
But E-Clay, actually, I actually prefer RKO 281 over Mank. Mank was okay, but it was kind of pretentious.
Yeah.
I mean, who releases a movie where you don't also provide subtitles? I mean, you read about that, right? He's like, well, in the Spanish sections, we're not putting subtitles because to put the subtitles would be to dominate the Spanish.
So
language.
just in the Spanish section, so there's areas that don't have it, is what you're saying? Not all of the prints?
Well, he didn't say. He was talking specifically about the Spanish. So he was like, no, that would be wrong. That's not intersectional. To have English subtitles would be to lower the Spanish. I was listening to this language and I'm like, who in the world fucking writes this shit?
The globalist asshats. I mean, we know that. I mean, I just said a bad word on my channel, which I don't do. So
I just realized my lights were off.
Whoa, what happened there?
Yeah,
I think George is going to heaven.
Yeah.
George was very illuminated.
He's been chosen.
It's the rapture.
He truly does have a beautiful soul.
Talking about the light, the rapture. You remember Kevin Smith's film he made, Red State?
Yeah.
I read, before he was cucked, I read that his original ending, when they have the end where you hear the horns, the horns, it was actually supposed to have, he goes, we just didn't have the budget for it, where angels actually show up and they rip apart people.
Yeah.
Can't believe
No, Red State was one of his decent movies. That's what's sad, is like he did make some good movies, but
he did. Just can't
he's gotten
believe it.
completely off the rails.
Then came Tusk, and then came Yoga Hosers, and then
I'll even defend Tusk.
I never saw Yoga Hosers.
Tusk at least was an original idea, or it's an interesting idea, and the movie itself I thought turned out pretty well considering, but like Yoga Hosers was basically Gremlins for 13-year-old girls.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, Naked Fang. I agree with Naked Fang. We should all be looking at Makini's drawing.
Yeah,
it is beautiful.
Dude. I have to tell you, this man here is talent. He's been given
talent. Like a breast. Yeah, a beautiful breast.
Well, it's more of a hand, but yeah.
Forget Tusk, go for bust.
There's a hand in that.
We're not looking at the hand.
By the way, I gotta get going, but I realized that because I'm so into it right now. Anyway, it's gonna be a chill session today.
Oh, cool, man!
You got more to go. We're just gonna work on finishing this one for Maria.
You got a panel lined up.
It's just the main 5. So if anybody wants to pop in, let me know. We'll turn into. But yeah, it's just a regular chill session. It was supposed to. I thought we were supposed to have Nick Weiser on, but I think we might save that for the season finale. But for now, it's just a chill hangout. If you got nowhere else to go.
I got no place else to go.
Does anybody know what the hell? Pardon me. What the Yoga Hosers was about? I never saw it.
It was just basically like, take care, McKinney. It's just these two girls that are stuck in this Canadian. It's like Clerks for Canadian people with 13-year-old girls, and it just gets taken over by these little monsters. And it's kind of goofy. Like it's a lot like Gremlins.
Okay.
It's got Lily Rose, Johnny Depp's daughter in it, and his daughter. It's just kind of a little vanity project for him.
Oh, so that's how they became friends.
Johnny Depp's even in it. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah. Him and Kevin's daughter have been like best friends forever. So like, yeah. So they've known each other for a long time.
Which is kind of a problem because of how just completely off the edge everybody that's touched Kevin's lives is now. That kind of worries me about Depp.
Well, let's not forget that Johnny Depp is pretty fucking woke too. He just has managed to get.
He just recently called out that stuff, though, Tom.
Yeah,
I
thought
know,
he went
but
unwoke after what his wife.
Well,
was
yeah,
doing.
now he's dealing with that side of things. But I guarantee you, if you asked him half the other stuff about Hollywood, he'd follow right along.
Really,
but he got brown pilled.
Yeah, more of a brown pill because he's, but I do feel like a lot more celebrities are coming around. Like, look, we had another, what's his face from Fox News is stepping down too. What the fuck is going on?
Well, he's not stepping down. He's going over to CNN Plus.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so he's basically saying who he really is. Because
he's got to align himself with
I didn't see that part.
With the network that's dropped 77% in 1 year.
But do you remember, Culture? We talked about that Monday. We said with Fredo gone and then the other one going possibly, are they going to fill it with younger, more woker people? Are they going to try to pull a flip-flop and get people who think are conservative, but, like, hey.
Sounds like that, yeah.
I think you're right on something there, George. I agree with you. And very quickly, I do have a member chat I need to read. It's from Kip Ellis. Good to see you, buddy. A member of mine for 12 months and a good friend of mine. Says, howdy, folks. Well, howdy to you, Kip. Good to see you from the UK. Let's see. And thank you, Willie, for mentioning that I did have a chat there. Yeah. And I look, this is Sandra Hammerslag together with Don Lemon. Yeah. I don't think look, they've got some problems. I mean, they just lost a producer yesterday to a scandal involving, some bad behavior.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm not really going to discuss that. But we have one piece of bad news. By the way, we've been winning. That was the whole point of today's stream. We are winning. We're taking wins across the board. I wanted to get into the Juicy Smollett thing, but there's actually something more important that hit the board that I think Lord thought I might have missed, and I did not. And this is very sad news for someone like me who reads and has read a lot for their entire lifetime. We lost a great author, somebody who basically redefined a genre for a period of time. Anne Rice passed away at 80 years old.
Yeah, her son announced it this morning. It was hard. And she was working. She was executive producer on the new series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they keep talking about it for the last 3 years. So it was supposed to come out originally on FX. They were starting with Interview with a Vampire and going all the way through. But that's sad.
Yeah. Well, we just keep losing all of these bright points in our life, right? The luminaries, right, George? I mean, the people who light or have lit the world for generations, and that's a problem.
Arguably, probably the most well-known vampire stories outside of Dracula, I'd argue.
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And remember, how many people she would give interviews? She would say that people come up to her because it was so real. Her world was so rich and authentic. I mean, the way it felt, they'd ask her, do you really know them? I mean, she'd say. And of course, in the beginning, she'd be like, yeah, I actually do. But, they represented her son. I think it was Louis or it was Lestat, because she had a hard life. She lost a child.
Yeah.
And then a husband. I mean, it wasn't all roses for her. She's a brilliant writer.
And she had quite the macabre approach to life anyway, based on the house she bought and everything else. But just very quickly, Anne Rice, the novelist whose lush best-selling Gothic tales, including Interview with a Vampire, there we go, that's a better shot there, reinvented the blood-drinking immortals as tragic anti-heroes, has died. She was 80, reported by her son as complications from a stroke.
And they didn't sparkle either, god damn it.
Yeah, there were no sparkling there. That's true. As a writer, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I didn't mean to. If I paused for a second, no, I wanted to say I think one of her best works outside was Memnoch the Devil. A lot of people don't talk about it, but it was a brilliant work. If anybody,
I love that book. It's one of my favorites. One I wish they would have made a film out of.
That's why you and I get along. We always have such similar tastes. But Memnoch, no one ever talks about it, and that would be one hell of a film.
The conversation, right? And I think they stole some of that idea when they like the Good Omens. Have you heard of Good Omens? BBC, which is also on Netflix or Amazon or something. Amazon, I think. But anyway, they stole that idea, the conversation between the devil and God, and the and the bargaining and everything else that happens. It gives you a fresh perspective. Right. And I've read multiple different types of ways to takes on that story, and I thought it was brilliant to do it with a vampire. It really was. But anyway, as a writer, she taught me to defy genre boundaries and surrender to my obsessive passion, says Christopher Rice. In her final hours, I sat beside her bed in awe of her accomplishments and her courage. I guess they're set to adapt again, becoming a TV series on AMC. I guess they're going to work with Interview with a Vampire again. That's fantastic.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you guys are like seem to really know this chick as an author and stuff, and like
Right.
I'll admit that like I had a brief flicker of like knowing who she was back when like Interview with the Vampire came out, and then the Queen of the Damned movie, and I was like, oh, she's that chick. But I seem to remember someone saying at some point that she had like a come again religion thing and like had disavowed some of her earlier stuff that she wrote because like from what I remember reading, there were some gay vamp stuff going on in those books, which makes me understand why they want to do it now on TV. But I'm kind of confused as to where she stood with her own work by the end of her life.
I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure that I recall that. I mean, possibly, but based on
actually, it looks like the opposite. Looks like today I quit being a Christian. She said back in 2010.
Oh, hey, there you go. Nice.
Okay. But she did such a great such a great job of bringing that complexity to those characters. The fluidity of their sexuality, right? And the reasoning behind it that a lot of other authors and films and TV shows that went on to deal with it in the future took basically her ideas and ran with them.
Oh yeah.
So she really did define that particular genre and many others. She wrote some other fantastic, things.
I think her issue was with organized religion, if I remember. She always
actually have a quote.
Didn't she hold to her faith? But she said she was done being. Yeah. She didn't want to have anything to do with organized religion, meaning the structural.
Well, her quote here is, for those who care, and I understand if you don't. Today I quit being a Christian. This was back in 2010. I'm out. I remain committed to Christ as always, but not being Christian or to being part of Christianity. So that kind of goes with what you were saying there, George.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Because she had a problem with it.
It's simply impossible for me to belong to this quarrelsome, hostile, I don't know that word. Disputatious?
Where is it?
It's in
disputatious.
Disputatious. Yeah. And deservedly infamous group. For 10 years I've tried. I've failed. I'm an outsider. My conscience will allow nothing else. Sorry.
Right.
I got to look up this word. I've never heard that word before.
Disputatious. Yeah, the problem is she would complain about the fact that she was like, it's veering off of Christ's message where there are two people, there you have a temple, and any time that you have, when it becomes an organization, then what happens? Is it
fond of causing heated arguments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because her focus was that the organizations are too focused on the organization and they lose the message, ergo.
Yeah.
SJWs are disputatious. Did I use it correctly?
Yeah, actually.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You think her son is going to take over, just like? No, but you think he's going to continue because he was doing it with her. But you think he's going to? You know how Christopher Tolkien took on his father's work. You think he's going to go forward? Culture? Do you think he's going to go forward with hands?
I think that would make the most sense. He's already been writing with her. I think he's obviously got talent, and talk about having a mentor. Holy cow! Gaze, you're a writer, so you probably have a lot to say on this. And
well, she did. She really did redefine the genre itself. I don't know a ton about her personally, and that's a good thing. I don't think we should know a lot about people personally, like celebrities, but. I agree. Yeah, she influenced a lot of stuff, like the White Wolf, World of Darkness, and role playing. Yeah. That was, you could tell that was 100% influenced by her work. And just about everything that follows kind of took a piece from what she created and really kind of ran with it. Because before that, it was all, it was pretty much that was the image, everyone's image of vampires, and she kind of created this, society in the night that nobody's aware of, that has all these cabals everywhere, and just create, like they said in the article, created this lush world that really didn't exist before, and that's
Right.
I think a lot of people who are big time into vampire fans, people who might not even know who she is these days, have a lot to thank her for.
Well, I mean, yeah, her kind of outline of the kingdoms and everything else and the ruling stuff and kind of bringing that into
I think the romanticization of the vampire. I mean, yeah, it was always kind of romanticized before, but I think she did really took it.
She mythologized it.
Yeah.
She mythologized it. I mean, come on, her world was so rich. I mean,
it's like the difference between like Nosferatu, the original vampire, and Tom Cruise.
Yeah, perfect. That's perfectly stated.
Yeah, but in my opinion, it's a terrible loss. And again, as a person that loves to read, it's kind of sad.
One of the more beloved authors of our time.
Yeah,
I can say that. I mean, outside of maybe Stephen King, I can't think of another author of our era growing up that was probably as more well known. Maybe Stephen King and Dr. Seuss are the only other two I can think of that were probably more well known than Anne Rice. I mean, like, that name is just synonymous.
My God, I just forgot his name. Talk about that. Who wrote the
Theodore Geisel?
No, who wrote the Thomas Covenant series? He was really
not Tom Clancy.
God, I just forgot him. Oh, and Michael Moorcock. Wouldn't you say he's almost on
There's a few of them, but
Moorcock in fantasy, wouldn't you say he almost comes close?
Maybe.
Remember Elric, the Champion series?
Right.
Tom Clancy's a big one. Grisham was a big one too. But like Clive Barker was also big. But like when it comes to like big names from like the 70s, 80s era, like you got Stephen King and you got Anne Rice up there. I mean, those two are so well known that
Well, there you go. If you're still trying to think of Christmas presents for people, go buy an Anne Rice book and give it to her.
Don't forget, J.K. Rowling is a pretty decent author too.
No, she's definitely kind of like, if I was to say like anybody who is going to be like her predecessor.
Patterson's up there. Yeah, the Kuntz is up there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some great ones, but I mean, I'd be willing to bet that she's probably one of the more well-known.
I'd say actually, I would agree. Rowling would be on the level of Rice. She sold more books, but I think she has that kind of.
And I know Willie brought up Twilight earlier, but Twilight's got a few years to go before it can be considered in the same.
I still see Twilight as fan fiction.
Yeah, I don't see it as anything but fan fiction. I know it was gobbled up, but.
All right. Well, I had one more thing I wanted to get to, courtesy of our friend Tom here, who was just on a mission today to make sure.
I'm just getting shit on Twitter left and right.
What happened?
Oh, you're gonna love this.
Now Superman's not the most powerful man in the universe anymore.
Oh, come on.
Yep, by Brandon Zachary. Now, say what you will about CBR, but here you are.
Well, this is just them reporting the news here.
Yeah, this is from Green Lantern #9, which is on sale now. So spoilers if you care about that comic anymore.
The short version. You want me to just give the short version?
Yeah.
John Stewart's now the most powerful man in the universe.
Of course.
What?
Due to some circumstances through the Green Lantern stuff, yeah.
How is that possible? But how is that possible? But what do they justify it? How do they justify it?
This doesn't fall in line with the victim hierarchy.
You whip it out and you measure it, right?
Well, I guess that's one drawback of. Well, wait a minute. Though. He's white, but he's an alien, so we don't know how big Superman is, to be honest with you.
John Stewart has figured out how to embrace the energies entrusted to him by the Guardians during his time as Mosaic and achieves a new power level during his journeys across time. He's recently gotten the chance to fully explore and use these powers alongside the new god Lonar while facing off with Isaac.
Wow. Okay. Unbelievable. Wow. I just can't believe they're really trying to annihilate Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, they changed, truth, justice, and the American way. They've changed his sexuality. Now they're reducing his powers. Why don't they just put a bozo head on him?
Well, there's a documentary. Superman has had bigger adversaries outside of the comic book than he ever had to face in it.
Yeah.
Since way back when to now. From Frederick Wortham to modern day bullshit.
What do you think the authors would say, Culture?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know. I mean, look, the characters were created for a reason. They became their own archetypes for a reason. They were specifically crafted to point towards all of the good that we were all capable of, and they were always facing an adversary that would, challenge them to be even greater than they were before. And now things are just you're automatically great and you become well beyond the things that were created before you, which I have a problem with. I really do.
Willie brings up that the New Gods, Firestorm, Doomsday, I don't know about Doomsday, I'd say they're equal because they killed each other fighting each other. Who gives a shit about the New Gods?
I know, who does? Did any of y'all ever see that Krypton series?
No, I heard it was pretty meh.
The first season actually wasn't horrible. It really wasn't. It was interesting.
Yeah, everybody said some very complimentary things about the CW show. I doubt it'll be great in the second season, but we'll see.
No, it's canceled now. They did the second season and then it died.
All right.
As soon as I heard Goyer was involved, I was out.
Okay. Wow. Well, I know this. The Spectre. Yeah, I got you.
I think what they're doing is I think this is another product of their whining. We've had think about it. We've had in the last 6 months more wins than we've had in for quite a while. I mean, think about it. You had Dune, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Cowboy Bebop's canceled, Santa Ink's gone the way of the dodo. Then you had elections in November. I mean, it's just Eternals went up in flames. It's just one thing after another. I think this is their reaction. I know they have other agenda behind doing it, but I also think there's possibly a little bit like we're going to screw these people over because there's no other reason. No one's going to buy that or support it.
Well, they're losing audience on every front. They're losing money on every front. We're running a little over time, guys, and I'm sorry. We normally only go about 90, but this is good conversation, and I'm enjoying it. So, but no, I think you're right. I mean, there is no financial reason. There isn't even a cultural reason to do this unless literally your only goal is to destroy things, and
So then you have to ask why do they want to destroy it? So then you have to ask why they want to destroy it.
Well, we know the answer to that. But AFK, you wanted to say something. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, like I feel like it's maybe like a conflated answer where could it also have stuff to do with I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, what people assume is going to happen in the future Superman comic where they might need to change who's like the most powerful character. I don't know. I don't want to spoil.
Could be. That's interesting. Yeah, it could be.
I don't know. I'm just like from the writer's side, but then again, I don't know if I give them too much credit or not.
For thinking that far ahead?
Yeah.
I hear you. I think maybe that's right. That's a good answer. That's actually possible.
Yeah, and this is actually a good statement that I don't think a lot of people know, but Captain Trek for $5 says, truth, justice, and the American way was not always a part of Superman, and too much is being made of it. I understand where you're coming from there, Captain Trek. It's just, it's hard when you're overcoming so many decades of tradition, especially on characters that are as old as Superman is. And there's many characters that have lengthy histories like that. So I can understand some people being upset by that. I really can.
Yeah, it wasn't originally, but eventually it became, and it stuck. I mean, it symbolized it. It's not how he started.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rugo, you're right. Be careful what you wish for or take. You might just get it. Absolutely. Thanks for subbing there, Jordy. If you're not already, appreciate that. Gosh. Let's see. Oh, wait, this is that Glinzer. Creative dearth plus envy. Let's destroy. That's what it equals. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Creative dearth, the complete lack of absolutely. Oh man. First of all, I love the vocabulary of our audience.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, culture. When my pastor has a point he wants to get across, he can go a little past plan time. Yeah, it happens. Super Fresh Prince coming to your neighborhood. There you go. All right. Well, as that being that, I just want to say I thank you very much to all of you, Creative Derp. Thank you, Morb. I appreciate all of you being here. For those of you who came to see this show, don't forget that Machiny is now live doing Machiny draws on his channel. If the mods have an opportunity to drop that link, that would be incredible. Tomorrow was Monday. You're going to have the Morning Brew over on Captain Trek's channel. You'll also have the 6-Minute Daily. It's going to be a little after that, which I do every weekday. But that's enough of me. George, I know you've been working hard. You're getting a video out regularly. Got anything coming up you want to promote?
Yeah, about 40 minutes ago, my Santa Inc. video just dropped on George the Giant Slayer. I actually call it an autopsy. So, yeah, I said it's the autopsy of Santa Inc.
That's awesome. All right, guys, go check that out for sure. Hopefully somebody can throw a link up for that. Thank you, George. If you're not subbed to George the Giant Slayer, check out his channel. Our very own author and talent right there, who apparently is giving you the red gaze from the gaze agenda in the wintertime. Gaze, you got something coming up, brother?
Oh yeah, you know you want it. Actually, just about to launch the 12 Gays of Christmas. We're going to be discounting Sunswarm and running a bit of a charity event along with it. So we're gonna make an announcement tomorrow, and yeah, hopefully any interested parties will get on board. So thank you very much. Have the chat.
Thank you.
The panel, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, no, I really do appreciate you being here, and you're welcome anytime, as always, Gaze. And of course, my partner in many crimes, Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Archive, Midnight's Edge Radio, or Mead Radio, I guess. You also have, gosh, I don't know, Tom, are you making, Funko Pops now, or what are you doing? You got like 1,000 channels.
Funko Pops would be fun.
I know.
Plushies.
Yeah,
it's in the name, Funko.
There you go.
But what happens if you reversed it?
Co-fun?
You got something going on there, Tom? I know you do.
Andre promised me some work at some point here.
Ooh.
Other than that, I don't know.
Oh, wait. I needed to correct this. There is no Morning Brew for a week. He's doing a news show. All right. Well, cool. Guys, check out Captain Trek's channel regardless. So thanks for that.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. And of course, I already mentioned Machiny, but we have the person who doesn't promote anything about themselves, even though they should. IFK Bard. AFK, anything you want to point people towards?
No, just the people here. Go check everybody out. Thank you for showing up to support Culture. He's got a whole bunch of stuff every day of the week. And I don't know if you guys have like holiday schedules for your shows or whatnot, but if not, I just want to say, happy holidays to people. So.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. And I appreciate that, AFK. You guys, I couldn't be more thankful to the audience that comes here every Sunday to hang out with us. We're going strong now. We're going to be coming up on a 2-year anniversary at some point in time. Awesome. This show, I can't even believe it got where it was going. So sometime in 2022, early in 2022, we will be 2 years in. We are growing, and it's all because of you, and I appreciate it. Hopefully we get to 3K. I was hoping by the end of the year. We didn't quite get there, but we might be close. We're about 2,700 as of now. I really do appreciate everybody that's here. I hope your holidays are lovely. I hope that your days are light. I hope that your burdens are few. I hope you have all of the health you could possibly imagine until your very last day. And with that being said, I'll end the show the same way I always do. Be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.